You know, there's a quiet moment in life, usually sometime after 60, when you start looking around and asking yourself a question you never expected to ask. What do I really want the rest of my life to feel like? For decades, life has a way of sweeping you forward. Work schedules, family responsibilities, appointments, deadlines, expectations, all layered one on top of another. You become so used to moving from task to task that you almost forget you're allowed to ask what you want. And that's why so many people reach retirement and automatically accept the familiar advice, move into a retirement community. It's what people do. It sounds simple, safe, predictable. Meals at certain times, activities arranged neatly on the calendar, everything designed to keep life orderly. But here's the thing no one talks about. What's safe isn't always what's right, and what's predictable isn't always what's fulfilling. The person in this story realized that truth slowly, honestly, quietly, the way most meaningful realizations arrive. After years of living by the expectations of workplaces, families, systems, rules, and routines, something inside them softened and said, I don't want the rest of my life to be scheduled by someone else. So when it came time to downsize, instead of choosing a retirement community with intercom announcements and color-coded calendars, they did something unexpected. They chose a smaller home in a quiet neighborhood, a place with fewer square feet, but far more oxygen for the soul. And what unfolded wasn't a dramatic reinvention. It was a gentle, steady rediscovery of their own rhythm. The kind of life that makes you breathe differently, walk differently, and wake up feeling like the day belongs to you again. Today, I want to share the 10 reasons why this decision became one of the most meaningful choices of their retirement. 1. The freedom to live without someone else's clock. There's a certain beauty in waking up when your own body decides it's ready, not when an intercom announces breakfast. In their smaller home, mornings became unhurried. They could stay under the covers and let sunlight paint the room before moving. Coffee could be a slow ritual instead of a scheduled event. Music could drift through the house, soft or loud, depending on the mood. For the first time in decades, every hour belonged to them. And that simple truth felt revolutionary. Freedom wasn't noisy or rebellious. It was gentle. It was human. 2. Lower costs, lower stress, and no hidden surprises. Retirement communities can feel like signing up for a financial mystery novel. Everything looks clear until you flip the page and find community fees, activity fees, wellness fees, maintenance fees, unexplained monthly add-ons. But in a smaller home, finances became simple and predictable. Mortgage or rent, utilities, groceries. That's it. With fewer bills draining their energy, they suddenly had money for small joys. A new coffee maker, fresh flowers for the table, a nice dinner, a quiet weekend getaway. Things that made life feel lived instead of managed. 3. Privacy that feels like rest, not isolation. Retirement communities offer companionship, but not always quiet. You hear footsteps in shared hallways, elevators humming, TVs through thin walls. Conversation is constant. Activity is constant. Eyes are constant. In their smaller home, privacy became a comfort, a soft blanket of peace. They could sit on the porch at sunrise without explaining why they were awake early. They could nap at odd hours, cry at a movie, laugh out loud, all without witnesses. It wasn't isolation. It was rest. The kind of rest that reminds you that solitude can be nourishing, not empty. 4. A real neighborhood, not a curated social bubble. Retirement communities provide community, but a curated one. Same age, same activities, same schedule. A real neighborhood, though? That's life in its natural form. Children running down sidewalks, someone mowing their lawn, neighbors calling out from across the street, an unexpected knock at the door with leftover pie. These little moments created a sense of belonging that wasn't scheduled on a calendar. They felt part of a world that moved with its own heartbeat, lively, unpredictable, wonderfully human. Before we move on, it's worth saying this. Living in a real neighborhood also brings back something people don't realize they've missed. The gentle feeling of being woven into everyday life. Not as a guest, not as a participant in a program, but as a person whose presence matters in small, quiet ways. A home designed around what you need. Retirement communities offer efficiency. A smaller home offers identity. They created spaces that felt like them. A reading corner where morning light landed perfectly. A kitchen arranged for cooking the meals. They loved a cozy space for hobbies, tools, creativity, and gentle messes. Every shelf, every picture, every piece of furniture had meaning. Nothing was generic or predetermined. Their home stopped being a place to live and became a place that reflects who I am. 6. Control over your daily rhythm. There were no scheduled activities, no assigned dining hours, no subtle pressure to socialize when they didn't feel like it. Days flowed naturally. A nap could happen whenever the body asked for one. Cookies could be baked at sunset. Movies could start at midnight. Furniture could be rearranged just because the mood changed. Life stopped following a script and started following the heart. 7. The freedom to adopt pets without restrictions. Retirement communities often say no more than they say yes when it comes to pets. But in their smaller home, a dog was welcome. A cat was welcome. 2 cats and a chatty bird were also welcome. Pets brought laughter, routine, comfort, companionship, and warmth, turning the home into a place that felt truly alive. 8. Creativity that has room to breathe. Creativity can't be scheduled. It needs space, and sometimes a mess. They painted, they gardened, they built things, they crafted late at night. They let projects spill across tables without worrying someone would tell them. The activity room was closing. The house didn't just hold their life, it held their imagination. 9. Peace of mind about aging in place. In their smaller home, aging didn't feel scary. It felt intentional. They installed grab bars where needed, improved lighting, kept walkways open, placed everything within reach. They shaped the house around their future instead of asking permission to make changes. Aging became something they prepared for with confidence, not something dictated by someone else's rules. 10. A lifestyle that fits you, not a template. Retirement communities follow a formula. A smaller home follows you. Want quiet? You get quiet. Want noise? You make noise. Want spontaneity? Nothing stops you. Want peace? It's yours. Downsizing didn't shrink their life. It expanded it. The joy, the freedom, the individuality, the authenticity. Choosing a smaller home instead of a retirement community wasn't about rejecting comfort. It was about choosing a life that felt personal, peaceful, flexible, and deeply real. It wasn't a step backward, it was a return to self. So, if you're standing at your own crossroads, wondering what the next chapter should look like, remember, retirement isn't about where you live. It's about how you want to feel while living. And if this story resonated with you, feel free to like the video, share it with someone who's thinking about making a change, and subscribe for more stories about living with wisdom, clarity, and purpose.